we had to say our goodbyes, and that was tough. That was really hard to do.
Yeah, Sean was planning on putting him out in the barn, and I was like, no, we're bringing him inside. If you paid $10 a chick, we're bringing him inside.
We're gonna baby these guys for a while. Couple of things to acknowledge today, yo folks. Number one, I've got a co-host. Second, I want to acknowledge a sad event that happened this past week. Longtime viewers might realize that we didn't have an episode last week. That's because last weekend we unfortunately had to bury our dear cat, Dr. Waffles. Now, Dr. Waffles was 13 years old. Holly and I got him in March of 2010 when he was just a kitten, and we had just moved in together. That was the very first pet that we had as a couple. And Dr. Waffles was more than just a pet. He was almost like our first kid in a way. He had been with us through, 5 or 6 different moves. He had been with us through a lot of ups, a lot of downs. He'd always been there with, I think I said my little memorial thing for him, with a companionable purr whenever you needed it. He was a great friend. Like I said, he was more than just a pet. He was a family member. So it was with some sadness last week. He had been spunky and robust as he always had been for a 13-year-old cat until last week when he got really, really sick. Something was clearly wrong with him. He was collapsing. We took him into the vet. Turns out he had a severe form of feline diabetes, one that wasn't really treatable. We had to say our goodbyes to Dr. Waffle last week, and that was tough. That was really hard to do. I ended up burying him here, where he sits under several feet of Tennessee clay and these giant rocks, which I think is a fitting memorial. I'm gonna clean this area up and put some flowers up, I think. Pets are important. I know it may sound kind of odd talking about this subject when I'm going to switch gears to talk about meat turkeys, about animals I'm gonna be putting in the freezer. But I think the point remains that to me and to Holly and I, our whole goal is to give animals really good lives. Whether we end up eating those animals or we have them sitting on our laps and they're our pets, we want them to live the best life possible. And so when you get to know an animal after 13 years and countless moves and getting to know this unique little personality, to say goodbye is pretty tough. And so it was a pretty tough weekend for us to put him in the ground last weekend. But ultimately, Holly and I are glad that he went peacefully. He didn't suffer that much. We put him down before the suffering got too acute. So I think my takeaway for all you yo folks is cherish the time you have with your loved ones, whether they be family, friends, or furry loved ones. They could be healthy and strong one weekend, and the next weekend they're gone. And that's what happened with Dr. Waffles. He was doing quite well until he wasn't. So that's my takeaway, and something I wanted to get out of the way right away here on the video, just because we didn't even put out a video last week, and it was just kind of hanging over us. But rest in peace, Dr. Waffle. Rest in power, Dr. Waffles. I love this contraption. It's called the Ergo Baby, and it allows you to wear your baby as a type of accessory. And now he's asleep. I think it's the peepers that lulled him. Finally, I want to acknowledge you guys, my viewers and subscribers. Recently, this channel surpassed 10,000 subscribers. And to say that I'm honored would be an understatement. And honestly, I'm a little bit surprised. The Modern Yeoman is kind of a unique niche. We're not a homesteading how-to channel. We're definitely not a homesteading how-to channel. We're not showing you how to do things. I can point you to dozens of really awesome homesteading how-to channels if you were to ask me, but this is not one of them. And we're not a current events channel either. We don't talk about crazy things that are happening in the world. Again, I can point you to many channels that do that very well. This channel isn't one of them. We're essentially a kind of a vlog showcasing our experience as a multi-generational family living on a number of houses on 11 acres of land in East Tennessee. That's what we do. And our method and motto, slowly, slowly, doesn't exactly lend itself to super high impact, rip-roaring, exciting television. It's more methodical than that. It's a long-term, it's more of a marathon. And honestly, one of the ways that I like to look at this channel is kind of a personal journal that I'll be able to look at in the future to see how our homestead has grown over the years. So the fact that we've gotten to 10,000 subscribers, you guys, blows me away with encouragement and with thankfulness, with gratitude for following along on our journey through the ups and downs. One thing that I've tried to do throughout this entire 2.5 years that I've been doing this channel is just be consistent. There have been certain times, especially when I was starting out, where I was filming twice a week. And lately, now that I'm working a full-time job, it's about once a week. I'd like to pick it up to twice a week again. That's one of my plans for the channel now that I've hit 10,000 subscribers. But that twice a week cadence, if I do get to that point, would be one of those situations where one of the videos a week would just be me working. Quiet, no editing. It would be kind of the Work With Me Wednesdays thing. The only time I really have available to film during the week is early in the morning. So it'd essentially be me taking care of chores and doing things on the homestead, working towards goals on the homestead early in the morning. It'd be quieter. It'd just be me working. It's something I'd like to start doing again. No promises as to when I can start doing it, but I'd like to get that going again, to have 2 episodes a week for you guys. I enjoy it. I like doing this. It's something I have fun doing. Here's to 10,000 more. Somebody's up. How was your nap, bud? Did you have a good nap? You want to help Dad with the turkeys? We got this. Hold on. Boom. There we go. What do we think? Looking good? Finally, let's get to the meat of the video. Let's talk turkey. One thing that kind of surprised us was the sticker shock for how much these turkey chicks, these turkey poults cost. It was $9.99
Yeah.
per turkey chick.
And last year, I feel like they were definitely pricier than chickens, but I feel like maybe they were $6.99 or something.
I'd have to go back and check, but it was maybe $7 or maybe even $8.
No, I don't think it was 8. I feel like it was $6.99 last year for turkey poults.
And so now they're $10 per chick. So these are an investment in our meat. And so it's not just turkey chicks. I mean, regular chicken chicks are more expensive too. I think that's just a sign of the times. A lot of people want chickens, but
it's just inflation across the board.
And inflation across the board. But one thing that made us think is like we had tossed around the idea last year, but didn't really seriously consider it. but we might actually seriously consider an incubation program with our turkeys and maybe even with our chickens. I know that's a setup, I know it's a whole thing, but if we're raising our own meat through turkeys, and we love turkey meat.
We do.
Our turkey meat has been fantastic. Instead of paying $10 per chick, for chicks that could potentially die, there's a high attrition rate with these chicks. Let's just breed out our own and have a breeding program with our turkeys. Maybe introduce a new male every year, but otherwise we're not dropping this much. Like, who knows how much they'll be next year?
Yeah, I don't want to
$15 a chick. Goodness gracious.
$20
a chick. Like, it's insane. So $10 a chick. We're treating this investment very carefully.
Yeah, Sean was planning on putting them out in the barn, and I was like, no, we're bringing them inside. If you paid $10 a chick, we're bringing them inside.
We're going to baby these guys for a while.
Trusting the outdoor temperatures.
Yes.
Even with the heat lamps and everything.
So
I said, bring them inside.
We're going to baby these guys, but yeah, seriously considering next year breeding them. So now that we got them inside and the conditions are about as perfect as they're going to be for these turkey chicks, we just need to keep an eye on them and cross our fingers that we don't wake up to any deceased turkey chicks tomorrow. So I'm actually going to zoom ahead to tomorrow and future Sean to see if we have any deceased chicks, any dead stock after that first night, because that's when it happened for us last time, was the first 2 nights that we had our turkey chicks. So here's hoping, fingers crossed, we will have no deceased turkey chicks tomorrow. Is that the case? Let's find out. So the question last night was, will all of the turkey chicks survive until the morning? I feel like that first night is kind of the night to expect some attrition. And I'm happy to report that all of the turkey chicks made it through, all 8. There was a little bit of a scare when I woke up and I came out and looked. One of the turkey chicks was lying on his back with his feet in the air like this. I was like, oh, shoot, one's dead. But then I kind of poked him and he flipped over and ran away. He was underneath the heat lamp, and I guess he was just sunning himself or something. Like, maybe it was comfortable for him, but like, he was super active and jumping around after I nudged him. So a little bit of a scare, but so far, first night, all of the turkey chicks have survived. Let's hope that keeps up. Thanks for hanging with me today, guys. Thanks for helping me to get to 10,000 subscribers. It's something I'm kind of speechless and thankful for, so thank you. We will keep you updated on things as they come up. I think gardening is in our near future, so I need to start prepping the garden. Until we see you guys again next time, remember, as always, slowly, slowly.